everyone, this is Jill with stampwithjill.com, and today we are going to make this Christmas shaker card. And this shaker card is a little different because it has tulle and the window peeks all the way through, so you can see like this that everything in there moves. So I'm going to show you how to make this. So the first thing we're going to need is the large die and the small die of the month. So this is the large die of the month from Spellbinders, and we are going to use the triangle die, and we are going to use this little tree die from it to make the window of the shaker. And then for the small die of the month, we have this. It has a deer and a whole bunch of really fun words, and we are going to use the word Christmas. So we have that. And then we're going to need some tools, and you can get this at the craft store. And you're going to need some shaker stuff. I found this at the craft store. It has all kinds of cool shaker stuff in it. And then I have my friendship sequins. And I have some gold paper and a few other little things. And we're going to go ahead and get started. You are going to need a card base, which I have a top folding card base, which is 4 1/4 by 11. And that's folded in half. And then I have a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of oatmeal cookie to go right on top. And what we are going to do is the first cut, we are going to center this, and hopefully I can get it centered in the screen. So first we're not gluing anything down, and we are going to center this tree right on the center like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hold it in place with some washi tape. So let me grab a little bit of that. So we're going to put that like that, and then we're going to want to put a little piece on the actual card base to hold that in place so it doesn't move. And then we are ready to die cut. I think I'll put one extra piece on there to hold it securely. Okay, so now when we run it through, we're going to run this part through the card base and the top panel. Okay, so I ran it through my platinum machine, and I'm going to move my cutting plates out of the way so you can see the card was open when I ran it through. So what you're going to do is you're going to carefully peel this off. I don't need my cutting plates in the screen. So we are carefully going to peel this off, and what you're going to have is a window and a window. So this one, you are good to take all the washi tape off and punch out all the pieces. And if you pull your washi tape really slow, it won't rip your paper, but you just want to go a little bit slower than normal, because the last thing you want is a rip on the front of your card. Okay, so there we go. So this piece we are done die cutting for now. I'm just going to carefully peel that off. Okay, so now we have this piece, and this, you could pop all of these out, which there's 2 layers of this, but honestly I don't have to pop it out right now because we're going to die cut right over it. So we're going to take this tree and we are going to line it up, and we are going to cut it out of the card base like this. So I mean, you can spend the time popping those out, but you don't have to. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we're just going to reuse the washi tape here. Tape this like this, and we'll put an extra piece here so it definitely doesn't move. And now we are ready to die cut again. So put this right. So you want to have your card open when you run it through your machine like that. Okay, so now it is all die cut, and we are going to do the same thing. We are going to carefully peel this off like this and like this. So we can take the washi tape and set it aside, throw it in the trash, whatever you want. I reuse it until it almost, because the less stickier it gets, it kind of works better when it holds dies in place. So now you have this tree, and you can go ahead and pop these pieces out. They pop right out with a little patience. And then you have that tree to use for another project. So I'm going to set that aside because you'll probably see it in another project. And then what you're going to do is you're going to refold your card base, and then this is going to line up right on the front with the window in the back. Oops, out of screen. Okay, so this is going to line up. It's just a smidge smaller than that window, so it's going to line up right on the front. So now we're going to go ahead and make the shaker part of the card. So you are going to need to cut a piece of tulle that's the size of the front of both panels. So you're going to need 2 pieces. And I like to cut it a little bit big and then trim it down. So we got 2 pieces. And this shaker card is pretty fun because it doesn't add a lot of bulk if you're making a bunch. And if you assembly line these, you can definitely make several at a time. If you die cut all your pieces. All right, so this first one I have on the back of that panel. So make sure you turn it over. And then I'm just using my green glue, which is this one, my favorite one. And I am just going to make a line all the way around the tree. You want to go pretty close to the edge because you don't want your sequins all over the place. So I'll just make this a little bit closer. And then this is where you do get a little sticky. And then you are going to put your tool on top and tap it with your finger like that and kind of let it dry. There we go. So you're going to let that dry for a second. I'm going to move it out of the screen. We're going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to crease this just a little bit. All right, same thing. I'm going to wipe my finger off here, take my green glue, and make a thin line all around the tree. Just like that. I don't want my sequins to come out, so we gotta make sure it's connected. And then you're gonna take your tool and you are gonna put it over top. And again, tap it in a little bit. It's a little bit messy. You're gonna add a little more glue, so you just need it to be secure enough to stick. You could use double-sided tape too, but this is pretty quick. All right, so now I got that pretty good. And I'm going to come back to this other piece. I'm going to slide that up. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the tool so it's not peeking out. So it's not totally tacked down, but it's pretty close. So I'm going to trim this so it's not hanging out of the card layer. And make sure it's still stuck. Now, if you wanted to be a precision cutter in the front end of the project, that would probably be a little bit easier, but I thought for the video it would just be okay to trim on screen. All right, so I just have some big cheap scissors. I'm going to get rid of those pieces so they don't stick to things. That's not showing through. All right, so there you go. It's all trimmed. And then we're going to pull back this one and do the exact same thing. So we just don't want it to show through the, front of the card and the side of the card. So you don't have to trim perfectly. This stuff cuts pretty easily too. Just going to go down the edge here. Hopefully you can see that it's really definitely not precision. And then there's just a smidge here at the top that I want to trim off. And I actually didn't trim it so great the first time, and I was able to use an X-Acto knife and just kind of touch it up a little bit with those pieces of tulle that were peeking out. So there's one, just a little piece here. All right, so there we go. Now we have all the tulle ready to go. So you are going to want to put your shaker pieces in now. So I have repackaged my gold sequins from Spellbinders FSJ and into this little holder. So I'm just going to pour a few out, and I'm going to push them to the middle and push the extras off. So you don't want any sticking to your glue the way mine is right now. So we're just going to push those into the middle. And you kind of want to make sure you have enough to go up and down. Like so. All right, so that's good. And then I found these little guides. These are from Recollections. I got them at my local craft store. And it has a little dial button to dial and pour the really cute, so you can see in there, I have picked the gold stars. And you can literally just tap these right on top. And it just adds a little bit of something else to shake around in your card. All right, same thing, you just want to move these in. I mean, these are so tiny that it's not quite as critical. All right, so now your shaker is ready. And you can get your tool at the craft store as well. All right, so now we are ready to put this top piece on top. So it is going to go right over top of that. And for this one, I missed a little part of the tool here, so just trim that off with these scissors. Hold on a second. That'll be sticking out. Okay, so now I'm going to move this. I'm just sliding that up so you can see in the screen. And I'm going to take my green glue and I'm going to go all the way around the edges here because you want to make sure that that is sealed. You can go over top of your tool. And then I'm going to add a little bit more over here and a little bit more just to make sure my sequins aren't falling all over the place. All right, so now we are going to put this on top carefully and line it up. So now this is a 4 by 5 1/4 card top. So it's pretty, you don't have to line it up with the actual triangle. You can line it up with the card base. All right, so this is all set. A little bit of glue, sneak out the bottom. So you can see now my shaker is done. So this takes about 10 seconds or so to dry. You can put a heavy block on top. You can put a heavy book on top to hold it down. I'm just gonna press it down like that and move it over. So there are a few things that we still need. So we still need to do this Christmas, the Mary, and the star, and add a few little touches. So for the Christmas, I actually, my little fashion gold just popped off of my sample. I'm gonna put that right back on. Okay, so I'm gonna need 3 fashion golds, which I have right here. And I'm gonna need this Christmas, it's a couple layers of the die cut. I have the Mary and a star. So the star is from the large die of the month, and I have that right here. So we're gonna cut that out of the gold. And actually, if I got the card kit of the month, and they sent me a 8.5 by 11 piece of gold cardstock as part of some of the supplies in the kit. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that. And then in the small die, we have the word Christmas here, and I'm gonna put that here. So I just found this fun little toy called the Sidekick. And I just think that this cute little die cutting machine is an absolute must-have. So now I can die cut on screen as long as the pieces are small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these right on these little tiny plates like this. You can use washi tape to hold it together, but it fits. It just fits, the two of them. And it comes with these little mini plates. You can see I've already tried them out. There's a few cut marks in there. And then you just put it through. So, and then depending on which way you crank, you get it to grab. So I think I have to get it to seal. I've only used it twice. It has this little ledge thing here that seals it so it doesn't wiggle like that. And then you just crank it through. Oh my gosh, it's so stinking cute. And out comes these little pieces, and I didn't have to get up and walk to my die cutting, which is on the table behind me. And then we're just gonna pop these out. Just poke it out with my scissors. Alrighty. I should have had my pokey tool ready. Hopefully these will be sharp enough. All right, I can't quite get that. All right, so what we're gonna do next anyway is we are going to, I have also die cut white, this and scrap white. So it's Christmas, and I actually have 4 of them, and we are going to glue them together to give them some dimension without using foam squares. So we are going to just glue them on top like this. So there's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go ahead and glue those together. Okay, so I've glued 4 of these together, and I'm just about ready to glue this gold right on the top. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And you can glue these together with whatever glue you have. Liquid allows you to have some wiggle room. I am using this multi-matte medium from Ranger, and it comes with, I have to get the precision tip for it, but it squeaks out just a tiny, tiny little bit of glue, so it's a lot less messy. I just found out about this fun glue too, so I hurry up and ordered it. And you can see I put just a little tiny, tiny bit there on there, and then when you put this gold on top, it doesn't get all over your fingers, and you can wiggle it into place and then kind of hold it like so. And then you can kind of, so if that piece is a little off, you can wiggle it and get it into place so it's perfectly lined up. And then you're not smearing the gold with sticky glue that oozed out. Now, the first couple times I did this, I did it with this green glue because I hadn't had it first. And as long as you're really skimpy with your glue, just using a little bit. Okay, so now you basically have this really cool chipboard type Christmas. And my card is totally dry. So then what we're going to do is we're just going to glue it right down on the center, right down on the center of the tree. So I'm going to add just a little bit more glue on the back, but you don't want to glue your shaker, so you're just going to glue both ends like so. And then we can put that right on the center of the tree. And then the last little bit is super, super easy. We're going to put some foam squares on there. So I'm going to hold it down with my fingers. So I have this fun sentiment set from Concord and 9th, and I really like this Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. There's a couple of cards on my blog with this sentiment, and I gold heat embossed it, and I cut some of the words out here already for the first card. So we're just going to cut out the word Merry because we're using it for this card, and you can save the other ones for other cards. I have little pieces of them on my blog with a red and green card too, so we're just going to cut that out. That's going to go on the top there, and then we just need to add the star and the gold. And so this piece is scrap, and what I did for the tree trunk was I just literally hand cut a piece like this, and I kind of made it a stump. So we're going to glue that right on like that, and then we're going to put the star on. Where's my star? Here's my little star. And then we're going to put the star on. So this is all secure. This I'm going to trim up just a little bit, and so it has nice even white edges. And we're going to put that right. So I'm going to actually glue it right to, I think I can glue it right to this guy here without messing up my shaker. So we put a couple dots of glue on that right there. Now this is a pretty fussy shaker. I'm going to show you another one I did. This is fussy because it has it has 2 different layers, but that's kind of why I like it. Okay, so now we have that. Oops, I forgot to attach those. So here is the shaker, so you can see all the stuff inside is moving. And apparently I didn't quite get that piece of tulle. Must not have been totally cut off. It's hard to see. All right, so now you can see the shaker stuff is moving. And we just have to put the tree on, the little tree stump. That takes just a second here with some scrap piece of gold. And then I'm going to grab a foam square for the top of my tree, and I'm going to put that right at the edge there of the tree. And then you can position the star however you want. If you like your star like this or like this, and then it doesn't kind of mess with the shaker because it's not on there. So we're all set. We have this shaker, and then when you open it, you can decorate the inside, but you can see all the bling on the back side. And there is almost no bulk whatsoever with foam tape making your shakers, and you get tons and tons and tons of this when you buy a roll of it for just a few dollars. So let me show you a couple more shakers. Okay, so here are the two other shaker cards that I made. One with green polka dot and one with pink polka dot. Similar style, just a different tree. Thanks for joining me today.